The alarm shrieked through the human dormitory at 0400 hours. Security Officer Vex's clawed hand hovered over his plasma sidearm as he stepped through the doorway, his 4 eyes scanning for the unauthorized life form his sensors had detected. The readings made no sense. Small, warm-blooded, moving. But every human on station was accounted for, and no other species had clearance for this section. He found it on Maya Rodriguez's bunk, a tiny creature, furred and curled against her pillow, rising and falling with breath. Maya's eyes snapped open as Vex's boots scraped the floor. She saw him, saw his weapon, and in one fluid motion threw her body over the animal. "Don't," she said. Her voice was steady, but Vex recognized the tone. He'd heard it before, in combat, when humans decided they would not yield. "Step aside, Specialist Rodriguez. Quarantine protocols require immediate containment." Vex's translator rendered his clicking speech into flat, emotionless English. Maya didn't move. Her hand rested on the creature's back, protective. "It's just a cat, Vex. She's terrified and half-starved. I'm not letting you take her." The creature made a sound, a vibrating rumble that Vex's database identified as purring, a comfort response. Why would an unknown organism trust a human so quickly? Within minutes, the corridor outside filled with personnel. Station Commander Krell arrived, his scaled bulk barely fitting through the human-sized doorway. 2 more security officers flanked him. The other human crew members stood in their doorways, watching, waiting. "Explain this breach," Krell demanded. His voice was a low growl that made the metal walls hum. Maya sat up slowly, the cat now cradled in her arms. "Her name is Whiskers. She's from Earth. Cats are domesticated animals." "Harmless?" Krell's head tilted, the motion unsettling. This creature bypassed 6 security checkpoints, breached a military station, and evaded detection for an unknown period. "I do not find that harmless." Maya's jaw tightened. She didn't breach anything. She probably stowed away in a cargo container. Cats do that. They're curious. Vex stepped forward. How long could such a creature survive without sustenance in a cargo bay? The last Earth shipment arrived 37 cycles ago. The humans in the hallway exchanged glances. 37 cycles. Over a month by Earth reckoning. Maya looked down at the cat, at its protruding ribs, matted fur, and wide, frightened eyes. "She's a survivor," Maya said quietly. Krell's second officer, a crystalline being named Vex, chimed in with her melodic voice. "Commander, this organism's survival contradicts all biological models. The cargo bay maintains minimal oxygen, temperatures below freezing during transit, and contains no nutritional sources." "Then how?" Krell's question hung in the air. Maya stroked the cat's head. "Because she had to. Because giving up isn't in her nature." She looked up at the commander. "Sound familiar?" The implication was clear. Humans had that same reputation. Surviving impossible odds. Refusing to quit. The galaxy had learned that lesson the hard way during the Frontier Wars. But this was different. This was about something small and defenseless. "Irrelevant," Krell said. "The creature poses a contamination risk. It must be studied, catalogued, and terminated." The word terminated hit like a physical blow. Maya stood, still holding the cat. "No." Around her, the other humans moved into the corridor, forming a loose line. Carlos, the chief engineer. Beth, the weapons specialist. Aaron, medical officer. 12 humans in total, standing between their commander and one small animal. Vex had never seen anything like it. In his culture, the individual meant nothing against the collective. A contamination risk would be eliminated without question, but humans operated on different principles. Maya's voice cut through the tension. "With respect, Commander, she's not a threat. I'll take full responsibility. Keep her in my quarters, handle all care, submit to any medical scans you want." "Unacceptable," Krell replied. "Your emotional attachment is clouding judgment." Beth spoke up from the hallway. "Commander, we fought beside you for 3 years, bled beside you. When have our emotions ever made us weak?" It was a fair question. Human emotions drove them to acts of impossible courage. But this seemed different to Krell. This was irrational. You would risk disciplinary action for a creature you met minutes ago? Maya met his gaze. Yes. The single word carried absolute conviction. Krell felt something shift in the room, a collective hardening of resolve. If he pushed this, he would have a full human mutiny on his hands, over a cat. The absurdity should have made him angry, but instead he felt something else. Confusion, curiosity. What kind of species would do this? Before he could respond, the station's emergency klaxon wailed. Red lights bathed the corridor. Vex's communicator crackled. Security, we have a critical hull breach in Cargo Bay 7. Structural integrity failing. Evacuate all nearby sections. Cargo Bay 7, where the cat must have hidden. Krell's tactical mind immediately assessed. All personnel, emergency protocols. Seal this sector and prepare for... The cat bolted. One moment it was in Maya's arms, the next it was a blur of motion, streaking between Krell's legs and down the corridor toward the failing cargo bay. Maya didn't hesitate. She ran after it, ignoring Krell's roar of "Belay that order." Her boots pounded against metal grating as she sprinted through the twisting passages. Behind her, she heard footsteps. Heavy, clawed. Vex was following. The cargo bay doors were buckling, atmosphere venting in shrieking gusts. Maya spotted the cat trying to squeeze into a service duct, the same path it must have used to survive before. She dove, catching it just as a support beam collapsed behind her. The metal shrieked, sparks raining down. Vex appeared in the doorway, his weapon holstered, one arm extended. "Take my hand." Maya clutched the cat with one arm and reached out with the other. Vex pulled, his superior strength dragging them both backward as the bay behind them tore open to space. Emergency bulkheads slammed down with thunderous finality. They collapsed in the corridor, Maya gasping, the cat yowling in terror, Vex's breathing rapid through his respirator slits. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Vex said, in halting English, "You risked death for that small creature." Maya looked down at the trembling cat in her arms. "Yeah." Vex's four eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep thought in his species. "I do not understand, but I witnessed it. You did not calculate. You did not hesitate. You simply acted." Maya managed a weak smile. "That's kind of our thing." When they returned to the dormitory, Krell was waiting. The entire human crew stood assembled, clearly ready for whatever consequences came next. The commander looked at Maya, at the cat, at Vex, who now stood beside the human rather than opposite her. Something in Krell's expression had changed. "Specialist Rodriguez," he said slowly, "you violated direct orders during an emergency." "Yes, sir." Krell's scaled hand moved to his command tablet. Everyone tensed. Then he tapped a command sequence. "I am officially entering the creature into station records as approved fauna. Clearance level, companion animal. Handle, Specialist Maya Rodriguez. Full responsibility for care and containment falls to you." The shock rippled through both human and alien personnel. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. "Sir," Krell's eyes, ancient and calculating, fixed on her. "We allied with humanity. Because you win battles we thought unwinnable. I assumed this was tactical superiority. But perhaps I was wrong." He gestured at the cat. "You protect the helpless. You refuse to abandon even the smallest among you. This is not weakness. It is why you fight so fiercely for each other in combat." Vex spoke up. "Commander, I must note for the record, I now understand human tactical doctrine better than I did before. They do not fight for abstract strategy. They fight for those beside them. Every individual matters to them." Krell nodded slowly. "Indeed. And if they will risk themselves for a creature they just met, imagine what they would do for allies they have fought beside for years." The implications settled over the alien crew. Humanity's reputation wasn't built on ruthlessness or superior technology. It was built on something simpler and far more powerful. They never left anyone behind, ever. The cat purred in Maya's arms, finally calm. Around her, the human crew relaxed, some even smiling. Beth clapped Carlos on the shoulder. Aaron wiped his eyes quickly, pretending it was just fatigue. Within a week, Whiskers became a fixture on the station. She wandered the corridors, curled up in the command center during night shifts, and somehow convinced even the most skeptical alien crew members to scratch behind her ears. Krell found himself watching the small creature with something approaching fascination. She had survived impossible odds, just like the humans who protected her. Perhaps they really were cut from the same cloth. Vex stood beside Maya one evening, watching the cat chase a discarded bolt across the recreation room floor. "I have filed a report with the Galactic Council," he said. "About today's events?" Maya asked. Vex's translator captured something close to respect in his response. "About why humanity should never be underestimated. Because you do not merely fight to win. You fight to protect. Even the smallest life matters to you. And that makes you the most dangerous and most valuable allies in the galaxy." Maya smiled, watching Whiskers pounce on the bolt with exaggerated ferocity. "She's just a cat, Vex." The security officer's four eyes blinked in that thoughtful pattern again. "No, Specialist Rodriguez. She is proof of what your species believes, that every life has value. That survival is not just about strength, but about refusing to give up. That compassion is not weakness." He paused. "I am honored to serve beside you." The cat, satisfied with her conquest of the bolt, trotted back to Maya and jumped into her lap. Maya stroked the soft fur, feeling the rumbling purr beneath her fingers. Around her, the station hummed with the sounds of a dozen species working together. And at the center of it all, one small Earth animal who had accidentally taught the entire galaxy what humanity really meant. They would fight for anyone. They would protect everyone, and they would never, ever leave someone behind. Even if that someone was just a cat who had snuck into the human dorm and nestled beside a pillow.